It's Tom Barton from TomBartonSports.com here. The Packers once again get the number one overall seed, but does it really matter? Not really. We'll get into that in this discussion. Guys, if you like the video, please subscribe. Always go check me out at TomBartonSports.com, at TomBartonSports over on Twitter, and you can listen to my podcast. It's the Believe in the Ivy League is one of the podcasts I have, and I have a couple others if you want to just type in Tom Barton over in the podcast section and go check that out as well. All right, guys, look, the Green Bay Packers had a great year. And it's just getting to a point that happens all the time because Aaron Rodgers is a great regular season quarterback. That's who he is. But the question starts to become, and it starts to become increasingly every single year, and I've been saying this for a while, is Aaron Rodgers only a great regular season quarterback? Now, before you go out there and start throwing out his playoff stats and all the times that he wins in the first round of the playoff, the reality is this, is that Aaron Rodgers throughout his career, he has been applauded and just absolutely recognized as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I think he's firmly entrenched himself into the top 20 greatest quarterbacks of all time. I think even I'm in a position where I've said, you know what? Okay, I'll put him in the top 10 quarterbacks of all time. But when we start getting into that upper echelon, that top 5, there starts to be the discussion that comes up year after year after year with Aaron Rodgers. And that is, the Green Bay Packers constantly are number one seed. The Green Bay Packers before the season are constantly supposed to do really well. They're supposed to represent the NFC. They're one of the top 2 or 3 teams that are supposed to get there. They go through a very easy schedule and, well, they get great numbers, great everything else. And then Aaron Rodgers, what does he do? Well, he fails in the big moment. And that's what Aaron Rodgers' career is. So look, they're going to get a first-round bye again, but they got a first-round bye last year. As a matter of fact, they've had 3 years in a row, which has been fantastic. Now, when you talk to a Packers fan and you have the conversation about Aaron Rodgers, it gets very defensive, right? Packers fans, oh, wait a minute, it's always the defense. Well, the defense has always been terrible. And the offensive line is bad. And he doesn't have receivers. And he doesn't have this. And he doesn't have that. And he doesn't have the other thing. It's always something. But I can tell you what Aaron Rodgers has consistently had throughout his career, and that is consistency in coaching. Guys might not like Mike McCarthy, but he's been consistently the coach for a long period of time. Now he's got LaFleur. Consistency in the offensive game plan, the offensive design, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach. These things are what makes a quarterback really good. And you ask any quarterback, and I've asked quite a few of them, you ask any quarterback, that's what they want. They want to know, what are we playing with? Who is consistent? Who can I look to? Who can I count on? Aaron Rodgers has had a lot of that for his career. He's especially has it this year. You can make an argument, I think many people will, that his coach might win Coach of the Year, right? So there's no more excuses for Aaron Rodgers that in that term specifically this year. Now let's talk about everything else. Look, throughout his career, he's had good running backs. They haven't been fantastic, but you're not going to be fantastic with Aaron Rodgers because it's a passing first team. But they've been very good. Aaron Jones is one of the most underrated running backs in the league, and now he's got a running mate in A.J. Dillon. Look, I watched this guy up in Boston College. I loved A.J. Dillon, and he's showing it in the NFL. So he doesn't have the excuse of not having a running game. He has not only a one punch, but a 1-2 punch that when the weather starts getting colder, they're only going to start to get better. So you have that. Offensive line, he's always had a good offensive line. You go throughout his history, he has very rarely not had a top 15 offensive line. Most of the cases, he's got a top 10 offensive line. Now, missing some pieces this year, they still are grading out right around that 12 number. They were top 10 for most of the year, so he does have consistency offensive line. Throughout his career, he's always had pretty good receivers as well. And Devontae Adams, over the last 3 or 4 years, you can argue is the best receiver in football. He's one of the top receivers in football for sure. So he has all of the weapons that you're asking for on offense. There are no more excuses for Aaron Rodgers. On defense, well, everybody that is a Green Bay fan will tell you, defense, oh, you know what? It's always the defense's problem. It's always the defense's fault. Always. Well, they're a top 10 defense this year. They're grading out 8 or 9 in most of the specific numbers that you're looking for that would talk about total overall defense. Yeah, they've played a little bit, we'll say a little bit more like the Green Bay Packers that Packers fans have seen over the last month or so, but they've had good defensive performances. You can run on them a little bit here or there, but overall, look, it's not a number 1 defense, but this is a top 10 defense, and it has been in different spots of his career. So it all goes down to, here we go again. It's deja vu all over again, as Yogi would say. And I've said this for years, and maybe I'll make another video saying this next year again. Aaron Rodgers has to win this year. That's just the way it is. Right now, I don't care if you're the harshest, most, absolute critic of Aaron Rodgers, you have to say the guy's had a great career. But there's always that thing. There's always that caveat. And I know that the Packer fans don't want to listen to it, but it's there. And it won't go away. Because it's there for Drew Brees, and it was there his entire career. Everybody's saying, well, he only has one. He's only got the one championship. And Drew Brees had just as prolific numbers as Aaron Rodgers passing-wise. Dan Marino, I know he didn't get the championship. He only got to one Super Bowl. Well, so did Aaron Rodgers. What separates him? Peyton Manning, before he went to Denver, the conversation was that Peyton Manning came up big during the regular season, had MVPs, similar to Aaron Rodgers, right? But he came up small when it counted most. Aaron Rodgers comes up small when it counts most. That's just the reality of the situation. Aaron Rodgers has one Super Bowl ring. In order to get that Super Bowl ring, which is a complete fluke, he went through Caleb Haney, who was a backup quarterback, and barely won that game in the NFC Championship. Well, that's his only NFC Championship win. He's lost 5 other games after that. He is a NFC Championship failure. And it's not just Aaron. I don't want to hear, well, what he did here, or he had a win there, or he did this. No, the numbers speak for themselves. 9 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in his last 5 games in the NFC Championship game. That's bad. That is not a team that you're looking at and you're going, all right, Aaron Rodgers plays a little bit less than his expectations. But you know what? What happened? The defense or somebody else got. But no. Aaron Rodgers plays poorly. 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions is poor play, especially for a team that's counting on you like an MVP. You start to look at a history and a career like a Drew Brees. Drew Brees got robbed by the officials. We know that, right? Drew Brees had some bad NFC Championship games that not go his way in the win-loss column. And a lot of critics will go out there, and I had this argument just this week for Green Bay fans saying, well, you know what? You can't judge everything on win-losses. No, okay, fine. I think you can when you're talking about all-time great quarterbacks. But okay, you don't want to talk about win-losses. Talk about touchdown and interceptions. And 9-8 is just a problem. 9-8, and oh, by the way, he does lose fumbles as well. He's got more turnovers than touchdowns in the NFC Championship game. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. These are stats. These are factors that we have to put into the jar and go, okay, let's shake this out. What do we have? Aaron Rodgers chokes when it matters most. So Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, they have everything lined up for them. They have a top 10 defense, a top 10 offensive line, a number 1 receiver, a power running game. Aaron Rodgers very well might win his second back-to-back MVP award this year. Matt LaFleur might win Coach of the Year. They have home field advantage throughout. So I'll say it again, which I've said for the better part of a decade. And I'll say it again, which I'm saying 2 years in a row. Aaron Rodgers, you're a choke artist. Aaron Rodgers, you're a failure in championship games. Aaron Rodgers, you can shut people like me up by winning this year. But if you don't, all you do is cement your legacy even more. All you do is make people like me that look at the numbers and they look at the situation and they look at your win-loss record and they look at your turnovers to touchdowns in the biggest spot, and you prove me right. Aaron Rodgers, you're gifted here. You got a golden opportunity. I think the NFC is just absolutely wide open this year. I don't think that Brady has the team that you're looking at. I don't think Dak Prescott has it. Out of the West, look, there are some dangerous teams, but they're all coming to you. Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers, you have everything in front of you. But if you don't win, Green Bay fans, will you be man enough to stand up and say, Aaron Rodgers comes up short when we need him most? All right, guys, that's going to do it for me, guys. Check out more at TomBartonSports.com. Go check me out over on Twitter. I love to interact with you guys. It's at TomBartonSports. Please comment below. I want to make sure that we have a good discussion. I think you Green Bay fans should probably have something to say, even though you know that I'm right at the end of the day. And make sure that you guys always subscribe, check back. I'll be doing a couple of videos here and there every single week, and we'll get into some good topics. Have a good day, everybody.